Chapter 7, Control and Coordination. The screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's just start the new chapter, Control and Coordination. So when we talk about control and coordination, I will like to start with some of the example. If you observe any germinating seed, what you will observe first, that when you put seed in soil, after some time when you are watering that seed, as well as you are providing the manure or compost or any nutritive substance there, after some time that seed will germinate and it will come out in the form of sapling. So that is a growth which is seed, it will show in the form of sapling. Then if you see any organism which is running, not only cat, a dog, a human being, or a tiger, any animal which is running, or take an example of any children, those who are playing in a park on swings and chewing cud by cow and buffalo. And another example, when any bright light it focused on your eyes, so you start blinking your eyes, or you try to close your eyes for some moment. And the last example is when we touch hot plate or vessel. So all these examples, they are giving you a brief intro about topic control and coordination. For example, in seed germination and grow, we can see that stem and leaves, they are growing toward the upwards direction, whereas the root part, it is growing toward the downward direction, toward the soil part. Okay, so in this one there is a coordinated movement between stem and root, so that the stem will grow toward the upward direction and root will grow toward the downward direction. Then the another one, cat running. If a cat is running, that means there is a coordination between the legs of cat, so that it can run fast to chase a mouse or to chase any other prey for food, as a food. So next one is when children, they are playing in park, so after some time they ask to push the swing at very fast rate, so that they can enjoy that one. And when once the swing it is going up and down, they try to hold the chain of the swing very tightly to protect themselves. Then the next one is cow chewing the cud. If you have seen cow and buffaloes, there is a process of digestion where after eating food they sit and they are chewing the cud. So that is also the coordinated movement of their mouth as well as their teeth, they which result in the chewing of cud for the longer time. Now the next one is when bright light is focused on our eyes. If you are walking on a road during the night time and any car or any vehicle which is coming from the opposite direction and it flashes the light on your eyes, so you try to blink your eyes, or you try to close your eyes. That is also a coordinated movement of your eyes with your brain as well as with your body. Then when we touch a hot plate or vessel, so whenever you will touch a hot plate or vessel without proper protection, then at that time you will try to keep your hand away from that hot plate or vessel. So this is also a control and coordinated movement. So this all examples, they are showing that our body is showing a certain type of control and coordination in a manner of our actions or our response, which we are getting after getting a stimulus from the environment. Our body is showing those particular response or reaction. Are these examples clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, so all examples are illustrating the role of a stimulus and response in organism. We know very well that is a stimulus and response, that is also a part of our life process, where we get a stimulus from our environment, and according to that stimulus our body will respond or it will show reaction, that is known as response. So all these stimulus, they help in triggering our body to give accurate response. For example, if we if we are walking on a road and any vehicle it is coming from the opposite side, due to the flash of those light, we only blink our eyes. It's not like that we are closing our nose or we are closing our ears or anything else. It is the accurate response which is only for the certain organ or the certain sense organ which are showing. So all stimulus, they are very specific for their organs. What are stimulus? Stimulus are any certain change, any change in your environmental condition, or uh, any part of environmental condition change which you receive or your body will receive. What is response? It is the reaction of a body against the stimuli or any change in the environmental condition. So we have to study control and coordination in both in plants as well as in animals. So first we'll start with control and coordination in animals, then we'll move to control and coordination in plants. So in case of control and coordination in animals, we have, as we know, we are organism, human being, we have an organ system level of organization. So we have a complete organ system for control and coordination in our body, that is called as nervous system. Nervous system, it is a system of conducting tissues where we are talking about nerve cells. They are the specific cells which are present. Then nerves are present where they are responsible for sending the impulses from one part to the other. And there are number of sense organs which are associated with the control and coordination. The main function of function of nervous system, first thing is regulation of our body. Even the heartbeat and the respiratory process, it is also regulated by nervous system. Then control, how all sense organ, they were controlled to show a specific response. As I gave you example of eyes, on triggering the light, on receiving a large amount of light, how it closes itself and protect itself, that is a control phenomenon. Coordination, while walking on a road, have you noticed your coordination between leg and hand? That is a coordinated process between the body parts. So basically we divide nervous system into three components: neurons or nerve cells, then nerves and nervous organs. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone having any doubt in this part? Okay. If you have any doubt, you can raise your hand. So coming to the functions of nervous system. So basically in our body, when we are talking about control and coordination, we have two types of action. One is called as involuntary action and other is called as voluntary action. Involuntary actions which are not under our will. We cannot stop that process. We cannot start that process. That type of actions like beating of heart, you cannot stop that one. That is involuntary action. Whereas there are certain activities like moving your hand, moving your leg, eating, and all these are the voluntary activities. So these are according to your will, that you can control, you can do by yourself. So these are called as voluntary activities. Then the function of nervous system to regulate both voluntary as well as involuntary action. We'll see there are different part of nervous system. So all those are regulating involuntary actions and some are regulating voluntary actions. Then we nervous system having sense organ that inform us about the outside environment. Then it also enable us to think, reason and remember. We have a part in our brain which is responsible for thinking, logical reasoning and remember power. Then controls reflex action in our body, that also we will discuss later. Now come to the sense organ and how we receive stimulus from outside environment. So in our body there are specific groups of cells which are specialized to detect a particular stimulus and to initiate the transmission of impulses. Those specialized group of cells are called as receptors. These receptors, where they are present in eyes, nose, skin, ears and tongue. So we have given a specific name to those receptors which are present in all these five parts or five sense organ. So you can see here in flow chart that receptors are divided into photoreceptors, which are present in eyes and they detect the light stimulus. So photoreceptors are the receptors which are present in our eyes and they detect the light stimulus. Then phonoreceptors, they are present in our ear and they are for the detection of sound. Gustatory receptors, they are present in our tongue and they are for detection of taste. This question has come one year to explain what is the gustatory receptor and what is the function of gustatory receptor. Then olfactoreceptors, they are present in our nose and they are for detection of a smell. You can take a simple example. If you burn an incense stick inside a room, so after some time you can feel the smell of that incense stick. That is because of the olfactoreceptors which are present in your nose. Now the thigmoreceptors, when you touch a hot plate or hot vessel, that is because of the thigmoreceptors which are present in our skin. Is it clear to everyone? Receptors
Yes,
are
ma'am.
clear to everyone? Anyone having any doubt at this moment, they can ask. Receptors are very important part. If it is clear to you, you are able to understand the reflex action also. Okay. So repeating it one more time. We divide receptors into photoreceptors, phonoreceptors, gustatoreceptors, olfactoreceptors, and thigmoreceptors. Photo for light, phono for sound, gustatory for taste, and olfacto for smell, and thigmo for touch. So these are types of receptors. Now come to the unit of nervous system. We all know unit of nervous system, it is neurons. They are also known as the longest cell of human body. You already read in grade 9 that this is the longest cell of human body and it is also known as nerve cells. It's structural and functional unit of nervous system. As we know, cells are the structural and functional unit. So if we are talking about organ system level, then here now neuron, it is a structural and functional unit of nervous system. Then if you see the structure of neuron, it is a elongated branch cell and carry message in the form of electrical signal known as nerve impulse. So what is nerve impulse? When any message which is received after the receiving stimulus, it is sent to the different part of the body, that is in the form of electrical signal, and it is known as nerve impulse. Is it clear to everyone what is nerve impulse? Any stimulus received from the outside surrounding, then it is sent in the form of message to the different parts of the body. It is converted into the electrical signal and that is known as nerve impulse. I will tell you how it is converted to the electrical signal. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Vaibhavi, it's good if you finish your breakfast before. During the class, you are not supposed to eat. That is a simple rule we follow in school also.
Yes, ma'am, but my mom forces me to.
All right, so come to the structure of neuron. Now, a neuron, it is divided into three parts: cell body, dendrites, and axon. Cell body, it is also known as cyton, then dendrites and axon. So cell body, it is further divided into, as it is a simplified cell structure. So we know very well any cell is having a nucleus and it is having a cytoplasm. Around the nucleus, it is having certain granules arranged in a circle that are called as Nissls granules. So basically neuron is having three parts: cell body or cyton, dendrites and axon. Cyton is having three parts again: nucleus, cytoplasm and Nissls granules. So here you can see the diagram. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can refer to figure 7.1 of NCERT textbook of chapter 7. Okay, so the same diagram, it is there also. So here this branch like a structure which is present here, this is called as dendrites. Then this is centrally located nucleus, and it is surrounded by these minute structures, granules which are present all around the nucleus, that is called as Nissls granules. And these Nissls granules, they lie inside the cytoplasm. The whole structure, which include a nucleus, cytoplasm, and Nissls granule, is known as cell body. So this part is called as cell body. Then below the cyton, there is a long elongated fiber which is called as axon. So axon, it is covered by a plasma membrane that is called as myelin sheath. All right, axon is covered by a plasma membrane that is called as myelin sheath. Myelin sheath, it encloses a cell which is called as Schwann cell, and the cell is having nucleus which is known as nucleus of Schwann cell. Then you can see this myelin sheath is not continuous, it is having constriction in between. So these constrictions are called as nodes of Ranvier. They are having role in generating the electrical impulse. There is a process called as synapse. When that nerve impulse, it will jump from one part to the other part. So this nodes of Ranvier, they are providing constriction so that the electrical impulse can travel from one part to the other part. Then at the end of axon, there is an axon terminal, and it is having a swollen structure at the end which is called as synaptic knob. So all these structure, nodes of Ranvier and axon terminal and synaptic knob, they have a role in muscular junction that we will discuss later. So this is the structure of a neuron, where we study about dendrites. They are the branch like structure. Then it is having a cell body. Cell body is having a centrally located nucleus which is surrounded by cytoplasm. Cytoplasm also contain a granule like structure which is called as Nissl granule. Then cell body or cyton, it is again further downside, it give rise to a elongated fiber which is called as axon. Axon is covered by a plasma membrane, a special type of plasma membrane that is called as myelin sheath. Myelin sheath, it encloses a cell which is called as Schwann cell, and this myelin sheath is not continuous, it is showing constriction in between, that is called as nodes of Ranvier. At the end, axon are there which are called as axon terminal. Each terminal is having a swollen part which is called as synaptic knob. So these are the about the cell body or cyton. Typical cell containing central nucleus. As I told you, around the nucleus granules are present, and stimulus is the function of cyton. That is, stimulus is changed to nerve impulse at cyton. That is the function of cyton. What all stimulus you are getting from the environment, that is converted in the form of electric impulse at cyton. Is it clear to everyone? What is the function of cyton?
Yes, ma'am.
Now come to dendrites. So as you saw, a short and branch structure, and these are connected to cyton. Their function to receive any stimulus from outside surrounding or from one neuron to the other neuron. As we are talking about nervous system, so it is a network of number of neurons. We know nerve cells are longer because they have to send message very fast. So they all are connected to each other. So it is having a connection where dendrite of one neuron is attached with the axon terminal of the previous neuron. So they all are aligned in a same line, and so that the axon terminal of other neuron, it is attached with the dendrite, and it will helpful in passing the message quickly to the brain to respond effectively. Axon is the longest part. It is single and elongated fiber, and it is arising from one side of cyton, conduct impulses away from the cell body. So the function of axon, as I told you, to conduct impulses away from the cell body. Then plasma membrane, it is called as myelin sheath, and constrictions are called as nodes of Ranvier. Then branch ending, which are called as synaptic terminal or synaptic knob. Now, come to the important topic, that is synapse. What is synapse? junction between any two adjacent neuron or nerve cells. That is called as synapse. When we are talking about junction between two adjacent neurons, so here we have to keep in mind that axon terminal of one neuron and dendrite of other neuron. So they both together, they are making a junction in between, that is called as synapse. And any nerve impulse, how a nerve impulse, it will generated over there or it is transferred from there are certain chemicals which are secreted over there, which in the those chemicals, uh, they are responsible for the release of electrical or for the generation of electrical signal passing through the neuron. Once the electrical signal it passes through the neuron, it result in the generation of nerve impulse. Impulses are carried by dendrites. As I told you, if this is the axon ending, if the other one is dendrite, then the impulses from axon, it will jump toward the dendrites and then it is carried again to the next neuron. Synapse is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So on the basis of mode of transferring the message, the neuron, it is divided into three types: sensory neuron, relay neuron, and motor neuron. Sensory neuron are those neurons which are present in your receptor cells and they are receiving stimulus from the outside environment. So sensory neuron, they accept the can you please mute? Okay. So sensory neurons are the neuron which receive the stimulus from outside environment and they transfer it further. Then relay neuron, sensory neuron, what all stimulus they are getting, they transfer it to relay neuron. As we have relay race, so what we are doing in relay race, we are passing the baton from one person to the other person. So same for the relay neuron, they are passing that message from one neuron to the other neuron. So that's why they have given a specific name called as relay neuron. Then we have motor neuron. Motor neuron, they are the important neuron in our body. Their function, once the sensory neuron, they pass message of receiving a stimulus from the surrounding, then it is given to the spinal cord, then to the brain for the appropriate response, what body need to respond at this situation. Then that response, it is carried by motor neuron to the effective muscle which is going to act. For example, take an example of when you touch a hot plate or hot object. At that time, what happened? You just take back your hand or take your hand away from the hot vessel. So how it is possible? The moment when you touch the hot object, so sensory neuron, it receive the increase in temperature or a high temperature stimulus from outside surrounding, that is a change in surrounding. So it send message to the relay neuron that object is hot. So that message is sent to the spinal cord and the spinal cord is sending that message to brain. Then brain respond to motor neuron so that effector muscles of the hand will work and you can take back your hand. So in this way, all these three neurons are related to each other and they result in reflex action mechanism. Now, so when we talk about reflex action mechanism, so here there are two systems which comes in function. One is the nervous system and other is muscular system. How they both together function. So point where muscle fibers comes in contact with a motor neuron carrying nerve impulses from central nervous system. We divide a nervous system into broadly into two groups: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. That I will take after this topic. So central nervous system, it is having muscle there is a point where muscle fibers, they come in the contact with motor neuron. As I gave you example just now, they are connected with the effector muscles, which are going to perform that particular action after getting the stimulus or after receiving the stimulus from the surrounding. So a point where muscle fibers come in contact with motor neuron, which are already carrying a nerve impulse from central nervous system. The part of central nervous system is spinal cord, brain. So they are sending the nerve impulse to take your hand back from the vessel. So that is this particular point is called as neuromuscular junction, where neuron, it is connected to the muscle. Is it clear to everyone? This is very important topic. Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Only Aniket is replying, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Is it clear to everyone or not clear to everyone? Nobody
Yes,
else is
ma'am.
replying whether
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
clear or not. Yeah, at
Yes,
least
ma'am.
let me know whether you are clear with the topic or not. Because I cannot move ahead with the confusion. If you have confusion in your mind, you have to ask that. Now, so how it happened, there are specific chemicals which help in transmission of impulses across synapse, and those chemicals are called as neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitter, the one which is present is called as acetylcholine. That is a neurotransmitter present in our body in during the synaptic process. When synapse occur, it is released by the membrane here, which is present here, and then it result in receiving the stimulus. All right, so how it received the stimulus, that is a sensory neuron, and then a sensory neuron, it passes to the relay neuron, and then so when we come to the relay neuron, you can see here when it reaches to the axon portion, this is the axon portion, and axon is having this synaptic knob. So this part, it is connected with the muscle fiber. Here we are talking about motor neuron. These are the motor neuron which are attached to the muscle fiber, and then these level, this structure or this synaptic knob, it is having a presynaptic membrane which is present here. This part, you can see here, this part is called as presynaptic membrane. Presynaptic, that means before the synapse, the membrane is going to release the chemical. The whatever message they have to send to the next neuron, that is in the form of a chemical signaling. That is called as chemical signaling. Whenever any message or any signal, it is sent in the form of chemical. So this membrane, this is called as presynaptic membrane, and it releases chemical from its surface to this area. This is called as synaptic cleft. The area between presynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane, which form a groove-like structure, that is called as synaptic cleft. So that chemical, it is released inside the synaptic cleft by the process exocytosis. You remember the process exocytosis we learned in grade 9? There are two processes of plasma membrane, endocytosis and exocytosis. Endocytosis, it is having pinocytosis and phagocytosis, cell eating and cell drinking. And here,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes,
Ma'am, Akash told me that he can't join because he has an internet connectivity issue.
he dropped off in between.
Yeah,
Okay, so he cannot join.
yeah, he told me to say that.
Okay, okay, I will inform teacher.
Okay, ma'am.
So chemicals, so exocytosis is the process when any chemical, it will release out of the plasma membrane coming to the outside environment. So if this is a plasma membrane, it releases the chemical by the process exocytosis here, and it reaches to the synaptic cleft. This is a groove which is called as synaptic cleft. Now that chemical, it is received by another membrane that is called as postsynaptic membrane. It is from the dendrite of the other neuron. When we are talking about the movement of stimulus from here to here, this is the axon part, and this is called this is the dendrite of the other neuron. So the dendrite of the other neuron, it contains a membrane which is called as, it consists of a membrane which is called as postsynaptic membrane. So once the chemical, they are released in this groove, they enter into again the dendrite through the process of endocytosis. Once they enter, then they are traveling like this, they are traveling to the effector muscle, and there is a response in that chemical signaling. It consists of a response that now muscles, they need to stretch themselves, they need to take back the hand away from the hot vessel. So in this manner, the message, it is transferred in the form of chemical. Now how it generated the electrical impulse here? See, we discuss about active transport also in grade 9, that there are two basic transport which occur in plasma membrane. One is called as passive transport and other is called as active transport. So active transport is like that when it occur against the concentration gradient from low concentration to high concentration. So on this surface, there are number of channels present or number of gate present, which result in the movement of ions inside this axonic terminal. So these ions are like calcium ion. So they are entering into the this chamber, and already they are less in number outside, but as it is an active transport, so it utilize some energy and make the calcium ion to move inside this membrane. Once they enter into the membrane, they set up a voltage in that environment. How they set up the voltage in that environment? For example, if you have 5 calcium ion outside and you have 3 calcium ion inside, so 7 calcium ion inside and 5 calcium ion outside. So out of that 5, again the 3 calcium ion will enter into the inside environment. So here there is a huge number of calcium ion, or you can say 10 calcium ion are present inside the axonal terminal, and only 2 are present outside the axonal terminal. So again they are setting up a concentration gradient, as because ions are present here, they result in the generation of a electrical impulse by setting up voltage gradient there. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear to
Yes,
everyone?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How voltage gradient will be set up over there? Because there is a moment of ion, and because of the moment of ion from low concentration to high concentration, already they are low in concentration and they are sending their ion to those region which is having already high concentration. So there is a generation of voltage gradient over there, and it result in the generation of electrical impulse. Now again, on the postsynaptic membrane, there are again another ion channel present, that is for sodium ion. So again the sodium ion also, it will enter into the through that channel inside this chamber, and they again create a voltage gradient here, and it will result in the setup of electrical impulse. Then that electrical impulse, it is sent from axon terminal to the dendrite of the other effector muscle neuron. Is it clear to everyone? So when we talk about neuromuscular junction, it is a point where muscle fibers come in contact with motor neuron, and they are carrying nerve impulses from central nervous system. Then it is having a neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which I told you, it is having a presynaptic membrane. So through the exocytosis, those chemicals, they are secreted in the synaptic cleft. Then from synaptic cleft, they are again passed to the post synaptic membrane, and then again they send message chemicals, they are for the response. So they send message to the effector muscles to take back your hand from the hot vessel. So in this way, this whole process of neuromuscular junction, it will work. Now you can see the how transmission of nerve impulse it occur. So if we have information means stimulus. What all stimulus you are getting from the surrounding environment, they all are in the form of information or message to the dendritic tip, as it is the first part which is on the periphery. So dendritic tip, it will receive the stimulus from the surrounding, then it will setting of the chemical reaction. Setting of the chemical reaction, that means it result in the secretion of chemical or acetylcholine, which creates an electrical impulse. As I told you, when there is a voltage gated channel, then the ion will be moved and they result in the setting of the concentration gradient, which create electrical impulse over there. As there is a movement of ion, so it will result in a creation of electrical impulse. Once the electrical impulse creates over there, it is carried by cyton, cell body, and then cyton to axon. Then from axon, it is released in the form of neurotransmitter, again the presynaptic membrane, postsynaptic membrane. Then it crosses the synapse, that is the synaptic cleft, the junction between two neuron. So it crosses that synaptic cleft, and again in the form, again it come in the form of electrical impulse and reaches to the dendrite of next neuron. So this is how transmission of nerve impulses it occur in our body. So that's all about today's session. So we discuss about neuron and types of neuron, as well as the structure of neuron, and how it act, and what are the different types of receptors, then nerve impulses and neurotransmitter, how neuromuscular junction it function. Anyone having any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Sudesh, any doubt? Darshil?
No, ma'am. All clear.
Jaipreet,
No, ma'am.
any doubt?
No,
Prerna, any doubt?
No,
Ryan, any
ma'am.
doubt? Ryan, any doubt?
No.
Vanshika? Vanshika, all clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Pius?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Charvi, Vaibhavi? Pranav,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
all clear? Siddharth? Tanvi, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Maurya, any doubt? So please read the first 3 pages of the chapter. First 2 pages, 114 and 115. So what all I explain, it is all there. All right. And draw the figure 7.1a. Figure 7.1a. And question number on page number 119, question number 2 and question number 4 only. Not all questions of in text, only question number 2 and question number 4. Question number 2, what happens at the synapse between two neurons? That is the transmission of nerve impulse, which I told you just now. And how do we detect the smell of agarbatti or incense stick? That I told in receptors. So this you have to do question number 2 and question number 4 as a homework. And figure 7.1a, diagram of neuron, you have to draw in your notebook.
Ma'am, page number for question answer.
119 in my book, it is 119, but there is a change in your book as a just you can check on 7.1.4, below 7.1.4, the first in-text question box,
Okay, ma'am.
the chapter. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
first in-text question box of the chapter, only question number 2 and question number 4. What happens
Okay, ma'am.
at the synapse between two neuron, and how do we detect the smell of an agarbatti incense stick, as well as you have to draw the figure 7.1a.
Okay, ma'am.
7.1a, page number 115. Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and please do all the, if any pending work is there from pull out worksheets, please do that also. complete all the pull-out worksheets till our environment?
Ma'am, about
Yes,
the pull-out
Bhavani?
worksheets, do we do the one you said, the one in the excretory system, that one?
Yeah,
Just that.
all you have to, once we are finishing the topic, you have to do all the pull-out worksheets. I told in last session also you have to do, when I started our environment, that time only I gave you homework of pull-out worksheet
Yes,
also.
ma'am. Yeah. Okay.
So do all the topics as they are, we are finishing all the topics, you have to do pull-out worksheets also along with that. So that's why I have given only 2 questions today, so that if you have any pending work from those pull-out worksheet, you can do. Okay, and finish it off, all those work. Okay, thank you, class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a nice day. Please join for the next meeting.
Okay, ma'am.